Hey everyone, it's Shane, the Inception Closer, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you one of the most powerful closing techniques that you can ever use, and it's my patent pending Inception Close. That's right. What is an Inception Close? An Inception Close is where you close a deal and the customer doesn't even know that they've been sold. Now, I know there can be some negative connotations to the idea of being sold, but when I say sold, I'm talking about a deal that has happened, a transaction where the customer has given you their credit card and you are happy, they are happy, you've made the deal, you shake hands, you walk away. Both parties are happy. That's what I mean by a close. Now, there are several books out there that talk about using closes in every presentation. And the more closes you use, the higher your chances are of success. But the data shows that just because you're using all these closing techniques, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the sale. In fact, and this is where the Inception Close comes in fact, what happens is people start to wake up. They start to be aware that something is wrong deep inside their bosom. They're starting to be alert to, hey, I feel like I'm being pitched. Something's not right here. I can't figure it out. Or they get into the mode where they're agreeing with you so much. They're saying yes, yes, yes. And that is a bad sign. When the customer is saying yes to you the entire time, even if they make the transaction with you, a deposit, whatever it is, chances are pretty high that they're going to cancel. They're going to refund their money, all this kind of stuff. Why? I'm going to share with you exactly how to avoid that and the reasons behind why you want to be using the Inception Close. And this is the only technique that you need to use in every single presentation. So again, what is the Inception Close? It's where you're actually having the client, the prospect, the customer make the deal themselves. You're steering the ship, but they're actually coming up with the ideas, or they think they're coming up with the ideas. And that's where Inception comes in. You're actually implanting ideas into their mind that once it takes hold, they run with it like it is their idea. And that's the beauty of the Inception Close. So think of it like a movie. You have 3 acts in a movie. And by the way, I was in the movie Inception. I was a extra. I was in the winter scene, the platform where Leonardo DiCaprio and company were trying to go within a dream within a dream within a dream to try and get Fisher to open up the safe and give them the codes and all this kind of stuff. Anyways, I can go on and on about that movie. Love it. Anyways, the idea of the Inception Close is you don't want the person to realize that they're being closed, because that's the worst thing that you want. They're going to reject everything that you say, even if it's for free. They're going to reject it because it's not their idea. You have to make it their idea. So you have the 3 acts. You have the opening act, which is a little bit of rapport building. It's a little bit of getting to know what the customer actually is doing. How are they making money? What are they doing? Are they happy with that process? All that kind of stuff. That's all the first act. Nothing gets them to the second act without the inciting incident. If you don't have that, you're not going to move them into the second act. And I know Matt Ryder talks about the buying pocket. If you can get them into the buying pocket, which is basically in the middle or the second act, you have a better chance of selling them your product or service. if you can't get them into that second act, it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you say, because again, it's not their idea. So once you have an inciting incident, it has to have something that causes our character to move forward, just like in a movie. If nothing bad happens to that character, it's going to be the most boring movie on the planet. Nobody wants that. You got to put your character up in the tree and you got to throw a bunch of stuff at your character to put him in a pickle and get him out of that jam. We'll talk about the third act, but basically, if you can get them in that buying pocket, if they're always stuck in the first act, they're going to leave the theater. They're really not going to do anything. Just going to buy the popcorn, maybe a drink, and leave. That is because they don't believe that your product or service can actually help them. So they're stuck in the first act, and you don't want that. You got to get them to the second act. So how do you do that? It's the way that you ask questions. You basically cause them to have consequences for inaction. Maybe it's consequences of doing the wrong thing for a period of time. But if you frame those questions in a manner that gets them from the first act to the middle act, which is consequential, then you get them to the final act where they're starting to be able to resolve everything. If you skip the middle act and go right to the third act and you start telling them about your features, your benefits, and everything like that, it's not going to work, because now they know the ending of the movie. They're going to wake up and they're going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to go and kick some tires, and I'm going to go to Dan Locke, or I'm going to go to Grant Cardone, or I'm going to go somewhere else and I'm going to buy from them because I already know what you have. You've given me all the goods. Now I can go somewhere else. You don't want that. It'd be like me walking into Blockbuster. I know there's no Blockbusters anymore. I miss those days. And say you see someone looking at some movies and they're looking at this one particular movie that's about a ship in the early 1900s that's on its maiden voyage. And you walk up to that person as they're pulling the movie off the shelf and you say, hey, that is a fantastic movie. The ship crashes into an iceberg. Most of the people die. And where'd that person go? They left because you told them the ending. So don't tell them the ending in your sales presentation. Do not do that. It's too early, and that's part of the buying pocket. You want to keep them in here until they're ready to get to the third act. So again, the middle act is basically what happens if they just don't do anything after this phone call. They just stay the same. The ship just keeps going in the same direction right towards that iceberg. What happens? Or maybe they decide, you know what, we're going to wait 3 months, 6 months, a year. So you paint a picture. How is that going to change? How is anything going to change? And there's ways to ask them questions. If you can ask them those right questions, all of a sudden they're going to create the movie in their head, and it's their movie. It's not Shane's movie. It's not my movie. It's their movie. And when you get them to the third act, it's going to be, they want to know how this ends. They want to know how this movie ends. They want to know how the hero is going to win in the end. This is where you come in. It's almost like the hand of God, you know, in the old Shakespeare plays. Sometimes if they didn't know how to write an ending to a play, they would have a person come in, grab the main actor that's in a real pickle, and they would walk that person out and everybody would clap. Oh, what a fantastic ending. The writer is amazing. The hand of God came in and removed that character from peril. So that's who you are as the salesperson. You're the hand of God. You basically come in, you paint a picture for the character, and they're creating the movie. If you start giving them too many puppy dog closes and all the different types of closes, under the sun, they're going to start to wake up and they're going to be like, I'm being pitched here. I got to get off the phone. I'll say whatever I need to say to get off the phone. And you don't want that. You want to get them to the third act. And that's where you perform. And by the end of the movie, they're going to be like, wow, wasn't that a great movie? Let's see that movie again one more time. And they're going to refer people. They're going to talk to their friends. They're going to say, man, that was a great movie and it's helped me. And you should try this business out because they've helped me. So there you go. That's it. That's my 2 cents for today. So try the Inception Close. If you don't know how to do that, subscribe to this channel. You can always reach me on my website, inceptioncloser.com. I have a little email list campaign going out. I think it's like 9 or 10 emails that get sent to you every single day. Just a little tip how to be a better closer. That's it for today. See you later. And don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Bye for now.